If you do want to see my in-depth review about the XM4s and the software update for call quality, I'll leave them down in the description below, and I'll leave a card up here for you to click on. And let's jump straight into it. So if I'm being really honest, I have not been using my XM4s every day, purely because I'm usually reviewing some other products as well. You can give these a look in my videos if you'd like to. But I do come to these whenever I want to watch a movie or listen to some new music. These do tend to be bass heavy, so movie watching and new music listening is usually good fun on these. So overall, after the last 6 months, these things haven't really worn out much. I usually do give them a wipe down before putting them back in their case, just to avoid wear and tear. I usually practice that with all of my headphones. In fact, I have an older set of Bose QC35s that are still doing really well, except for their ear pads, which I changed a few months ago before reviewing them. I've had those for about 5 years now. You can give that a look, that review a look if you'd like to. I did expect these to have a few scratches on them after 6 months, purely because they are a matte finish. So usually this kind of finish does show thumbnail scratches over time. But I'm honestly surprised it's not really shown much wear and tear over this time. It does have a few finger grease marks where I've forgotten to wipe them. It does show off those kind of marks and stains, but all in all, it's looking good. It's still pretty tight. Headband is still flexible. There's no creaking from this. It still feels good on the head. Quite comfortable. Heating of my ears, I have experienced, but maybe in hotter months. Now since it's cooled down, I really don't feel the effect of the heat with the earpads. They don't really breathe and they are closed back, so it's bound to happen if it's too warm. When it comes to the app, I'm not a big fan of it because there's too much going on. Then again, it's more something you just get into, set up initially and then forget about, unless you want to keep changing your equalization or your noise control settings. When it comes to the features, the touch controls are pretty neat, but I've not really gotten used to them because I was used to the tactile buttons on my previous Bose QC35s. I do miss those. There's nothing like having a tactile feedback. But then again, this is good at what it does. It's not really fumbled whenever I've had to increase lower volume or skip to the next previous track or even play and pause. The active noise cancelling is still, I think, the best I've ever heard. It does a terrific job of eliminating the traffic noises right outside my studio because I'm very close to a main road. If my fan is on full speed or somewhere there, it does a good job of eliminating the motor sound as well as the whooshing from the blades. I have really grown to enjoy the noise cancelling, but it can be a bit weird, especially when I get up and walk around the house, because in between tracks when nothing's playing, I suspect this is how it would be to lose your hearing, because if ever you reach for door handles or interact with anything that usually makes a noise, it cuts it out by quite a bit. So it is a surreal experience. The one thing I didn't think that I'd really grow to like with these, that I didn't care too much about in the start, was its sensor detector for the ear. It's only on the left side, but it's pretty neat because whenever my wife walks in, I just need to flip the left ear pad and it just pauses any media that's playing. It's subtle, but it's a very neat feature. When it comes to battery life, I've only had these for about 6 months, so I don't expect there to be any deterioration really in this much time. Then again, on a full charge, it can carry you for up to 30 hours of listening time, which is more than how much time you get in a day. So even if I were traveling with this, I'd most probably plug this into charge when I charge my phone. So just to give it that top up, I don't see people really having an issue with battery life with this, even if you're traveling. Now, of course, when it comes to the sound, this could be the most crucial part when it comes to being a consumer. I've found to really like the sound with these, especially when it comes to watching movies, especially action ones, because this does have a lot of body and depth when it comes to the bass, when it comes to the explosions. They're genuinely good fun to use when watching this kind of content. When it comes to music or new music, this leans more towards the bass heavy stuff again. So dance music is usually appreciated. Then again, it does have an equalizer, so you can always play around with its settings. Some of the high notes that come out of this are surprising because it does give you a hint of hi-fi-esque delivery. It's very soft and subtle in its delivery. It's not really piercing like most other headphones can be, even at higher volumes. So I have been using these with LDAC on my phone, but if you are coming from high-res audio, say a desktop setup, if you've been using open back headphones, listening to higher bitrate audio, these are going to sound like they fall flat, but you have to look at these for what they are. They are convenient headphones that you can pack up in your bag and carry onto a flight or whenever you travel. They are not your entire desk setup, so don't judge them on that part. If you have upgraded or are thinking of upgrading to these from a smaller set of earphones, these are definitely going to be a huge upgrade for sure. But it's worthwhile keeping in mind that if you are coming to these from hi-fi audio, these are wireless and you're bound to have a bottleneck there. So considering I've been using these for about 6 months now, would I still recommend them, or does it make sense to wait for the XM5s? Now, according to Sony's history, it could be time for the XM5s to be launched or announced at any point now. But here's the thing, if you get into that whole waiting game, it's never ending. You might just say, hey, I'm going to wait for the XM5s, and what if they launch the XM5s a whole year from now? You're going to be without a good set of headphones until then. If you want to rush into a good set of headphones, I definitely would recommend these, because I think on some sales they do go for a terrific price. It's worthwhile watching out for some of those sales. But all in all, these have not failed me in any way whatsoever. Sony is regularly updating their software. In fact, just a few months ago, they came out with a new software update that actually enhanced the call quality. It's not something that I see larger manufacturers doing for their earphones or headphones, but Sony is definitely listening and trying to make a difference to their current products that are in the market, and that is a good sign for these. Coming back to the XM5s, they are definitely going to come out sometime soon. I think it's on its way. But Sony is of course being very tight-lipped considering the situations that are going on across the globe. But the headphones will come soon. I don't know if they're going to be a significant upgrade. Take for example, between the XM3 and the XM4, it wasn't too significant, but significant enough for the XM4s to be considered by XM3 buyers. One thing to keep in mind though, if you are on a budget and you do want to wait, the XM4s are most likely going to be on sale once the XM5 comes out from certain distributors. Sony may not reduce the price of the XM4s, but certain distributors might, just to flog their stock. So if you're thinking about going in for the XM4s and you've had any doubt and you want to go for them soon, I'd say just bite the bullet. There's no point waiting. Go ahead, treat yourself to them. Or if you want to buy them for somebody close to you during the holidays, this is a good time to pick them up, or you might want to wait for those holiday sales. And of course, if you like what I'm doing on my channel, remember to like, share and subscribe. It does help the channel. And thank you for tuning into Paul's POV for some sound advice.